but maybe I'll touch on it more when I play Triceratops later. But a few years ago, there was a huge debate over Triceratops and if it was actually its own species or if it was a growth stage of Torosaurus. Very interesting debate. I personally like to think the Triceratops is its own animal, and Torosaurus is its own animal as well. And most paleontologists and scientists, I think, agree with that standpoint because there are differences in the two animals, and you know, enough difference that it would not warrant, you know, species division. I'm not a paleontologist or a biologist. You know, just how I feel about it. Wow, you run out of food very quickly with this animal. So I think I'm gonna head to where that Spino was heading, and there's some calls coming from this direction. So hopefully we encounter some people. For my Diablo or Triceratops videos, which might come directly after this one, or maybe I'll do another a predator in between them to kind of keep things different. Because if I'm playing as ceratopsids for 3 hours and three different videos, that might get a little bit boring. Also, something I wanted to talk about is I have nearly 10 followers now. I would have had 10 by now, but I lost one follower about a week ago or so. You know, their choice. I'm not going to get mad at someone for unfollowing, especially if I don't have a consistent upload schedule or stream schedule. I don't want to waste people's time, and they don't have to waste their time. So there you go. I'm trying to think of a schedule or something that I can, you know, kind of lean on whenever it comes to streaming, because it would create consistency, and that's always a good thing. And right now on my calendar I have, you know, stream on Twitch every Wednesday from like noon to 4, kind of these vague hours. And I have not stuck to that. I've been streaming every day since Saturday, or since Sunday, I think. I don't know. Last 3 days I've been streaming. And definitely while it's summer, I have more flexibility with my schedule and my free time. You know, all I have to do is work, really. But when it turns to fall, school's gonna start, and that makes things a little more complicated. I'll have to organize my time between schoolwork and you know, going to classes and other school responsibilities. So at that point, I'll more than likely resort to some kind of once a week thing. But at the same time, if I want to hop on stream because I'm feeling like streaming and talking to people, or you know, like the Child of Lit is, I really hope I'm saying that right, by the way. I don't know. Answer your questions in the stream and everything. If I want to interact with people and just enjoy playing games, then I'll do that. You know, I'm not gonna strictly be beholden to an upload schedule. I like these tall bushes. It makes it very easy to conceal my my rotund little ceratopsid body. so. Don't quote me on this exactly, but in my opinion, this kind of environment would not be suitable for a ceratopsid. I don't, especially for like a herd or group of them. I don't think that these kind of scattered oases would have enough calories to sustain large numbers of herbivores. You know, I would think that they're more apt to live in, you know, kind of a grassland, or like kind of like a semi-forested area. No one's calling anymore, which is making me a little bit iffy about where to go. But also, when fall rolls around, if, you know, I still want to do Twitch and everything, there's a bunch of new games that are coming out that I would be very, very happy to stream and excited to. We have a new Assassin's Creed game, Origins, which is going back to sort of an Assassin's Creed 1 feel, which I'm very excited for. We've got a new Call of Duty, which is going back to its roots as well, which I'm also very happy for, because World at War was my favorite Call of Duty. And it looks like they're bringing back, you know, not just the setting, but, you know, the gore, the brutality of war, you know, that sort of thing. Things I loved about World at War that they should definitely bring back. Alright, so I spawned in that, between these two dunes. This one and the one over there. I've walked over there in the Spino, and I think the T-Rex or whatever that was logged out, and there are two of them, but I don't know where the other one went. So, are those dinosaurs over there? Let's go check out this little area. Usually if there's buildings, then there will be other dinosaurs. So this is probably our best bet. It is kind of eerie to kind of, you know, be sort of this lone little adorable herbivore just wandering through the desert all alone. Something interesting about ceratopsids is that their horns and frills, well, the horns, all of it, they were made of bone. The horns are made of bone and had keratin layers on top. And keratin is the stuff you find inside your fingernails, I think, and your skin. Like, certain layers of your skin. And it's very important for skin. And probably also for ceratopsid horns, as well as rhino horns, you know, modern day rhino horns, because it's very hydrophobic. It does not, or it's also very it's unsoluble. It doesn't dissolve or, you know, take in water. This is very important for skin, because if we couldn't retain or keep out excess water, we would get all pruny and it would be gross and it would not be healthy for us. But for ceratopsids, you know, if if they're bone, that means that there's only layers of skin at some point between the base of those bones and, you know, the internal skull, or, you know, the inside of the animal, which means that it had to be, you know, hydrophobic, so water wouldn't get inside and mess up the animal. But the frill, the kind of shield structure on the head, you know, this animal has a smaller frill and large horns, had a bone base, and, you know, just skin over it. Interesting. The design of the horns on this, I haven't looked up, you know, too much on Avaceratops specifically. I did look at some things online beforehand, briefly, but its horn structure, or if I say that like I'm some sort of scientist, I just, based on what the horns look like, it resembles. So there are two different species of Triceratops. There are Triceratops I think it's Proesus or Prophrysis, I don't know. And then there's Triceratops horridus. And the first type has a longer nose horn and shorter brow horns. And horridus, the second type, has longer brow horns and shorter nose horns. So this kind of resembles Triceratops horridus in the horn shape, because they're quite large. They're protruding outward. You know, they're more inward facing. They're not facing the sides of the animal. They're facing in front of it. And there's aside from this beak on the end, which is also its mouth, there's no nostril horn. God, there are, you know, I really wish I could find some people. But if we do encounter some predators like a Giga or an Allosaurus or anything, we're gonna head this way. That's where that call came from. We'll be a little more well armed and not as defenseless. You know, Dryosaurus really could only run away from things and be stealthy, hide in bushes and such. But if anything tries to mess with us, we'll have a little bit of a chance to defend ourselves. One other fascinating thing about ceratopsids, specifically Triceratops, is that in terms of family and herd structure, whenever threatened, it's been suggested that they would put the young inside of a circle of all the adults, or like behind like a defensive line of adults to defend their young from, you know, being attacked and killed. I'm not sure if there's actual evidence of this, but it's definitely interesting. I'm not sure if modern elephants or I think bison might do that actually today. Bison are quite aggressive if threatened, and they'll certainly defend their young if threatened by wolves or bears or whatever. However, I don't think grizzly bears tend to attack bison, or at least not healthy adults. I know that wolves go after bison though. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's